Hello there, this is Barb Pask here to paint for you again. Going to paint from a photo that I took a while back. Let me show you what I got in mind. Okay, when I was out plein air painting, I think it was last year, might have been the year before, I took this guy. Pretty cool, I think. Might be nicer if he was lit, but I think I could put some rim light on him. We'll have to see. At the same time I took that one, I took this one. And as you can see, I converted it to black and white. The reason being that I thought I could get a better look at the values that way. And he does have a glow on his back, even though he's not directly hit with sunlight. And those two photos are mine. And then I went on Google and I Googled, I wanted to get a better look at a sheep's face and his eyes. So we'll see, we might use that for the eyes. And I found this one too while I was looking around. Isn't that little guy cute? So I'm thinking what I may do is I may sketch. I'm not going to use this image because it isn't mine. But I think I may sketch my larger sheep in and maybe introduce that little guy into mine. So this is an 8x10. I might do it bigger later if I like it. I just thought this is a good place to start. So we're going to mix up, we're going to tone the canvas this time. Mix up an orange color and tone the canvas. Got some new subscribers lately. I want to thank you so much for that. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider liking and subscribing. Down in the description box, I'll have a link to my website where you can look at more of my work if you're interested. And I paint a little bit of everything. I work in water mixable oils, which are really just oils, but you know, water cleanup. All right, I'm going to take a fairly large brush. These are Rosemary brushes, Evergreen series, and we're just going to get some color on the canvas first. These are panels that I gessoed hardboard panel that I buy off Dick Blick, and I put a couple more coats of gesso on them because they're very, very slick when you buy them. So it's got a little texture on it. This is a color I frequently use when I'm outside, especially in Ohio here in the spring. It just glows green, I'll tell you. So a lot of times I'll put an orange tone on the canvas because that's the complement to the green, you know, a red. And it's nice to let it peek through, kind of kills down some of that vibrant green, knocks it down a bit. See, they grab it pretty good, these panels. I put just a little bit of water in them to get them to move around. I don't use a medium. All right, we're going to go with a smaller brush. Here's my reference again. I'm thinking we might put the baby down in this area. And he's a little close to the bottom, as you can see, because I'll be framing this, hopefully, if it turns out. So I want to move him up a little bit. So into that same mixture, I'm just going to mix some blue and some crimson. It doesn't really matter, just something I can sketch with. All right, let's think about the placement. Up in this area, we're going to have fencing running across. Just kind of generalize that. Okay, there's some, actually the light is up in this area. All right, but I'm going to move my sheep up. Let me think about this. Move him up in here more. They're colored all different ways. This guy has black down to his nose and black from each eye. A lot of them are solid black heads and lots of different, you know, kinds of sheep. And goats too, I find. They vary a lot. Kind of looking at some values to help me sketch him in. Had a nice mild winter so far here in Ohio, but supposed to get cold soon. It's coming back. I do a show every year, February 1st. Well, it's the first Saturday in February. This year it happens to be the first. So it's always a tricky time of the year, you know, with the weather. Some years we have had snowstorms. I always say there's nothing going on that time of the year, though. It's a good time, you know, to come out to the show. The church, it's at a church. It's called Northminster Fine Art, and they're very supportive of it. Really well run, and it's nice. It's a nice experience. It's a nice day. So as I'm sketching, I'm looking at how far from the front leg is this section before we hit the back leg. And he's standing in dirt, but we may bring the grass on down. We'll see what we like. And the other picture, the little guy's in the grass, and kind of like that. Okay, now we'll look at the space from here to here. Always use a negative shape to help me sketch. Now we'll go back to the baby. Yeah, unfortunately, the sun wasn't hitting them that day. That would have been nice. All right. And the baby, I'm measuring it. I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm looking at this, and I'm going to measure. Get it back here. Wait. Sorry about that. Measure the size of him and comparing to Mama. Well, there it went. And he's about, two of him make Mom, approximately, I would say. So he's about halfway up to Mom. So if Mom's about that high, he hits somewhere in there, his little head. So and now that's if we were going to line their feet up. And I really think he'd look better if we brought him down a little bit. So ignore that. We're not going that high. I don't want them lined up exactly the same. I've done mama and sheep paintings before too. It's a sweet subject. And this sheep is colored. The one in this reference is colored like my sheep, which I thought was good. And the baby's kind of got a speckled kind of appearance to it. Don't know if we care about that or not. I say a lot of his body's kind of hidden in the grass. We got to clean that off. Don't ignore that. That will not be his head. Okay. So he's more on this plane, and he's down in here. Okay, so let's start off with the big guy. I say this might be a fun image to do larger at another time. I might do 11 by 14 maybe. All right, so I'm going to start with the darkest part of him. Ultramarine blue, transparent red oxide, which gives me a black. And we're going to just block in the darkest darks. I can see it's kind of pink inside that ear, so we'll come back and add that later. Please consider subscribing. I mean, if you watch, I mean, I get a lot of views, but not as many subscribers. I promise you I will never bother you. And actually, I don't even know who you are. There might be a way to find that out, but I'm mostly working on my iPad, and, you know, don't feel that I will ever bother you or anything. So, but it just shows me support and shows me that you would like me to continue doing what I'm doing. And okay, let's see where this foot hits. It's a little higher than that one. A little bit in there. I think what we'll do is we'll go back to the baby and we'll block him in too. I should take that clock out of this room. That is loud, isn't it? Little battery operated clock over there, obviously for the time, but I also bought it one time for a prop. I've painted it a few times. Okay, let me zoom in on this guy a little bit. A little confusing, everything kind of run together here, which is okay. See a bit of a leg there. Okay. I think what we'll do is mix up some gray tones for this guy. And again, I'm going to keep in mind the photo that I took of him that I converted to black and white. So we can, I don't always do that, but I thought with the values so similar, that might be handy. So we'll take some white to start with, and we're just going to dirty it up. Some of the values are fairly dark. Let me go back to my color photo so I can see what colors we're looking at. I see a lot of warmth in him. Okay. I'm sure they're like snowflakes and aren't any two alike, probably, right? Like most animals. Let's see where else. Pretty dark under the neck here. It's got a nice slice of light coming down right there. Lighter. But I still want to keep it in that warm family. Let's see. I'll show you the reference again. See the nice warms in him. He does have rim light on him, which is really nice. This might have been a good subject for our coal wax medium, like I used with the dog. You know, to get the suggestion of fur. And I could come back and do that. We'll see. Could, of course, use a palette knife on him. Took this over in Indiana. We were at a sweet town over there painting and painted out this farm. I chase these animals around getting their photos. You just wonder what they think of you, don't you? Crazy humans. Okay, I'm going to mix up a little bit of an orange. I just like having it to work into. Just some yellow and red. And the rim light we actually might put on after we get the background painted in so we don't muddy it up. We'll just get him blocked in for now. Spend a lot of time getting everything just right. We'll just get him blocked in. This is one of the areas where the really intense light's coming around, so we'll get that. And though I want him to be, I'm an impressionist, and I want him to be painterly. You know, we'll take a good look at his face further along. I want to suggest the nose and so forth, but without getting too picky. All right, let's block in the little guy. Let me say he's kind of speckled. Not that that matters too much at this point. We'll just block him in. And his little butt is fairly high. You know, we'll just get him in there. We're not worried too much about him yet. All right, let's move on then, and let's get that fence in. All right, let's think where it is. It's got 4 slats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try to get them somewhat even. And a lot of people might paint the fence on top, though I will be tweaking it and adding light to it. The reason I don't is I like painting negative space. I think it's interesting, which means I go back and paint the spaces between the fence last. Okay, now I can see what I'm doing right there. I'm putting that right into his head. That is no good. We'll move it over, and we'll move this one over. Yep, that's where it was, and that's almost where I put it. I don't want that. All right, let's mix up a green. And I just start off with just a basic green of ultramarine and Cadella medium. Okay, so we're kind of looking around. I'm going to, for that to recede back in there, we're going to want it cooler. I'm going back to my bigger brush too. This is not real crucial, and I want to get it covered, so. All right, excuse me just for a second. I moved you, didn't I? It's garbage night. Husband gave me one job, which was to put the trash can outside the door before I paint it, and I did not do it. It's out there now. Sorry about that. All right, I mixed up a blue-green. We'll see what that looks like. And you know, and I want some of this orange to show through. That's why I did it. I'm breaking up the color. This is kind of meant to be a shadow. We'll see how that goes. And the fence post would come down further. All right. A lot of stuff jingling around, don't I? Clock's ticking, and sorry about that. I'll think about that next time. Maybe take a stupid clock out of here, huh? Don't know why I'm really noticing it tonight. More so than usual. Back under this fence is some real intense light. I don't know if we'll like that or how. We'll suggest some of it and see how, if we like it or not. There's actually some like little purple flowers back in there too that might be nice. And the fence, don't know if we'll like it this way or not, but it's being hit with some light too. Okay, let's move on. We'll go back to our bigger brush. I want to get this all this blocked in. Again, I don't want to cover up all this orange. Go back and look at the shape of this little guy again. Now that I'm doing that, I think that's too light, because this foreground is more in shadow. Let's go back to looking at our sheep again here. Mixing up a dark again. All right, let's take a good look at these legs and stuff. Mean to do that. I think we're going to get my little liner brush out and look at his face a little bit here. A little bit early to do that, maybe. Oh, he's got a tag in his ear, I see. She, I don't know. Probably a she, wouldn't it? Aren't males rams? Like I said, kind of his ear, inside of his ear is kind of a pink color. See some of that. We're going to be going over this again, but just kind of get some of this in. Okay. It might be too light, we'll see. See, there's some rim light here at the top. Let's see if that shows up, if I got him too light. Let's try a little palette knife on him. I gotta keep him dark enough to where the rim light will stand out though. Trying to look at the direction that the fur goes, like around the neck here is going that way. And the shoulder goes that way. And the back's coming down. Told you I had some nice light coming over there. All right, let's look at the little guy. Can't see a lot in his face. Neck's coming down that way and his little shoulders sticking out. You know, and if he doesn't work for me, I can always take him out, but I'd like to keep him in, so. Like I said, he's speckled, and I don't know if that's typical for the babies or not. And I can't see a lot of detail on him. Bring that leg out a little bit. There's probably 2 legs there. All right, let's go back to this background. I think what we're going to do is bring some grass up around their legs. That's what I'm thinking. Let's get our little rubber knife out. This little thing, I don't know if you've ever seen me use it. Catalyst by Princeton. They're like a fun, flexible palette knife, kind of. I've got 3 different sizes in them. This is a medium one. I've got a longer handled small one, and then I've got a great big one. And they're fun. I've done whole paintings with them. We'll see if we like it or not. You can use it a lot of ways, to lay paint on or to score through your paint, you know, to suggest grass. Painting's all, you know, trial and error. some things work well and some don't, and I don't know how in the world you'd ever plan everything you're going to do, because a lot of it you figure out as you go. Might be nice to have some heavy texture in there, here and there. I need to work on his shape a little bit more. And back in here. Back in the fence line here, I see little dabs of purple. We'll see if we like that or not. Maybe we like some of it in here too. I jokingly say every painting needs a little purple. Maybe it does. I love purple. Put a few little sticky things over the fence back there. Said you could even use this to work on the sheep a little bit. It's really nice, as I think, on your canvas as a blending tool. I am not a neat painter. I just threw my palette knife handle into cobalt blue. I know people that are very neat while they paint. That is not me. My husband says I'm like a bull in a china shop. I'm not delicate. I lost some of those darks, so I'm going to introduce a few of them back in. Take a little pure white maybe and do a little rim light, a little bit on the baby. Maybe the baby's head too, so he stands out. Do we like that? Let's see. look at the fence here. You know, maybe we should go ahead and put in some of these highlights, see if we like it. I don't know that I do like that now that I see it there. Thinking about some dappled light, how would that be, you know? Let's get our knife back out. I want to break that up. Maybe a little tiny highlight in the sheep's eye. Ooh, and maybe that ear tag. Maybe a little suggestion of eyes. And the tag is bright green, but that won't show up. So like his ears would be catching some rim light too. Not sure I see it, but those are a little low. Actually, that dark runs way up there. Put a little suggestion of an eye, maybe. Do you ever paint goats? Goats sure have some weird eyes. My daughter hates goats. When she was a little girl, we were at a thing with animals, and they could pet them, and we stuck her in there with them. And she had long blonde hair, long braid, and one of them like tried to eat her hair. He had the whole braid in his mouth all the way up. She just freaked out. They do have some creepy eyes. I've got some good pictures of goats. I could do some of them sometime. All right. I'm going to call it and look at it, see what I think. I'm going to pull this out a little bit again. Kind of suggests that he's glowing. Might want to shadow him a little more. I have to decide on that. You know, a little bit darker at the bottom. All right, I'm going to get up and show you what I've done. It's been just an hour. That's pretty good. I appreciate you joining me, and please again like and subscribe. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please consider it. I mean, just to, like I said, I will never bother you, I promise. At some point though, you know, when we get more subscribers, we'll probably have a drawing. So, and that of course will be for my subscribers. All right, here they are. Let me get you in there a little bit. See the rim light, which is kind of nice, you know, it makes them stand out. It's painterly, and yeah, I think I like the little baby. It kind of tells a story. Let me lower you again, kind of take you back to my reference. That was the guy we used, and then took the baby from there. But as you can see, this was more lit back in here. And he does have, you know, when you convert it to black and white, see, he does have a rim light around him. So you can even see it on the neck and everything. So, just to confirm. All right, I'm gonna get out here, and y'all have a nice evening, and we'll paint again soon. Bye-bye, thanks for joining me.